Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about reading thermometers and temperature. You guys touched base on this, I believe, in third grade, but I know you've seen something like this before and talked about temperature. So we're going to review some of the things you might have learned. All right, what are thermometers? Thermometer is an instrument used to measure temperature in degrees Fahrenheit or degrees Celsius. Why do we need thermometers? So that you know how hot or cold something is. When it's summer out and you're dying of heat exhaustion, you want to know how hot it is. How do you know thermometers work? So the red liquid, which is a dye-based alcohol or mercury, expands when it gets warmer. So that's why the little red line goes up in the thermometer. And it contracts, which means it gets smaller when it gets colder. That's why the line goes back down. Might want to make these notes, so pause the video and make notes, please. All right, so degrees Fahrenheit. The United States is the only country that measures temperature in Fahrenheit. Okay, important temperatures, that means make notes. Okay, important temperatures. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is the freezing point. And 212 degrees Fahrenheit is the boiling point for water. All right, so reading a thermometer. Look at the lines between the numbers, between each number on the thermometer, and determine the interval. Okay, remember the interval is the space between the lines. So looking from, like we go from 10 to 20, that is, we've only got 5 lines, so we have an interval of 2. So 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. So our interval for this is 2. Okay, so let's practice reading the temperature in Fahrenheit. All right, so looking at that temperature, it's between the 40 and the 50. And remember, our interval is 2, so I'm going to count up the lines. 40, 42, 44, 46. So I'm going to say 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So this is what happens when the thermometer goes, it gets hotter, so it expands, which means it's going up, 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 up. And like right around in this area is the summers here in Hemet. And then our winters go down, 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 down. Usually stays right around here, but sometimes it'll go down to like here for Hemet. Okay, degrees Celsius. All countries measure temperature in Celsius except for the United States. We like to be different here in the United States. All right, important temperatures. Notes. Okay, important temperatures is degrees Celsius. 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point. Remember, 32 degrees Celsius is Fahrenheit, freezing point. And 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point for water. In Fahrenheit, it's 212 degrees. There is a formula that you'll learn later on in life that you can convert from degrees Celsius to degrees Fahrenheit, but that's what's above our heads right now. So we're going to learn that later on in life. Okay, so reading a thermometer in degrees Celsius. Again, we're going to look at the lines here. And I have 10 to 20, which is the same thing. So my interval is of 2 again. Okay, interval of 2. So let's see where our line goes. Our line goes up to between the 20 and 30. So that's 20, 22, 24, 26. So then it's 26 degrees Celsius. All right, so let's look at the thermometer below. What kind of clothes should we wear with this kind of weather? Okay, so we've got an interval here between 20 or 30 and 40 is the same thing. So we have an interval of 2. Okay. So I'm going to start here at 30 and I'm going to go up 1 line, which is 32. So we've got 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Remember, freezing point in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. So it's freezing weather. So are we getting my sunglasses? Yes, no? Maybe so? No, no sunglasses. They don't disappear. Here in Hemet, we might be wearing sunglasses because it'll be sunny and cold, but what about a hat? Nope, no hat. How about a scarf? Oh yeah, scarves work. What about gloves? Beanies? Because we're dealing with what kind of weather now? Jacket, sweater, jacket, and some pants. Cold weather. Okay, take a look at another one. Now we've got degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at degrees Celsius. So we've got an interval here of 2 again. And so we're going to start here at the 20. We're going to go up 22, 24, 26, 28 degrees. So we have 28 degrees Celsius. All right, so 28 degrees Celsius. And remember, freezing point for degrees Celsius is 0, and boiling point is 100. Okay, so we're not at the freezing point. Let's see. We're going to wear a jacket? No. How about some gloves? Bathing suit? Oh yeah, we're gonna go swimming in 28 degrees Celsius. Sunglasses, we need those to protect our eyes. Have some pants. You'd certainly be wearing pants in the summer, but apparently not in this example here. How about some shorts? That'd be Parker. Parker wears shorts all the time. And t-shirts and hats, because we want to protect our eyes in the sun. All right. Okay, so quick quiz, or one question quiz. What would you use to measure the temperature? We've got A, a ruler, B, a thermometer, C, a measuring cup, or D, a scale. That's right, B, a thermometer. Okay, so there's one thing that I want to talk about with you before we do some of our practice book pages. One thing we're going to be learning about this week is negative numbers. So let's pretend we're looking at a number line here, and here's my 0. Okay, so these are going to be negative numbers here. These are positive. Okay, negative numbers and positive numbers. So let's put a -1 here, -2, -3. So you see, as I'm going down the number line, my negative numbers, as they go down, they get bigger. Where my positive numbers, as we go up, bigger. Okay, it's going to be very important to know that information. Okay, negative numbers, as they go down, they get bigger. Positive numbers, as they go up, they get bigger. Okay, well, for some reason that didn't load. Okay, let's take a look at our practice book page. So we're going to use the thermometer here to find the temperature shown by each letter. So if I'm looking at number 1 for A, I've got my temperature here. Okay, let's first figure out what my interval is. I've got 10 to 20 and only one line in between. So 10, 15, 20. So my interval is 5. All right, so A. My A goes up between 20 and 30, so that is 25. And it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, how about E? E here is on this side. Oops. E is on this side. And interval is still the same, goes up every 5. So I'm right at 30. So it's going to be 30 degrees, but I'm on the other side now, right? The line's on the other side, so it's degrees Celsius. All right, let's take a look at number 8, H. Okay, H here is right down here. Okay, so that is actually negative 20 degrees, and I'm on the Celsius side. Okay, all right, let's take a look at this one down here. Number 9. Number 9 shows me the negative side of a thermometer. Now remember, as the numbers go down on negative, they get bigger. Okay, so I'm actually going to start down here. I can either start down here at the 10 or up at the 0, but let's go at the 0 so I don't confuse you. So I'm going to go 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay? Oh, so I went 1. So it's actually -4. My line goes up to right here. Oops, keep moving it around. So 0, -1, -2, -3, and -4. So I'm at -4 degrees Celsius. Okay, if I went up from 10, it would be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. All right, so let's use the thermometer to find the change in temperature. Okay, so now I'm dealing with the change in temperature. All right, so if I'm going from 20 to 5, 20 degrees Fahrenheit to 5 degrees Fahrenheit, we're dealing with positive numbers. So now we're just dealing with a subtraction problem. So I'm going to go 20 minus 5 equals 15. So my change in temperature is a 15-degree change in temperature. Looking at number 13, though, I've got -8 degrees to 35 degrees. Okay, that's a little bit harder. Now I got to figure out, I got to get from 35 to 0, and then from 0 to -8. Okay, so if I'm going from 0 to -8, I've got 8 points, right? I got to move up 8 times to get to 0, and then I got to move 35 spots from 0 to 35. So I'm actually going to add these two numbers together. So it'll be 35 plus 8 equals 43. So I have a change of degrees of 43 degrees. Okay. I know the negative number on a number line is a little confusing, and we're going to be practicing that throughout the week and possibly into next week. So don't get discouraged if you don't really understand negative numbers. But remember, when you're going from 0 down negative, the numbers get bigger, and from 0 up positive, the numbers get bigger. So go from 0 positive is up to get bigger, 0 negative is down to get bigger. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at some of these other ones. All right, choose the better estimate. Let's go with the lake. Is the lake more likely going to be 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Fahrenheit? Remember, this is our summer here in Hemet. Remember how hot our summer is in Hemet? Okay, so are we going to jump into a lake that's as hot as the weather is around us? Probably not. So I'm going to say that a lake should most likely be 50 degrees Fahrenheit. All right. Look at these problem solving and test preps. We're going to work on 18 and 20 together because those deal with negative numbers. All right, so for 18, we're going to order from greatest to least. I taped this the first time and did it backwards, so now I'm retaping it. So we're going to go from greatest to least. Now remember, we have our number line here. 0 down is bigger. 0 up is bigger. Okay, so my biggest number in this series of numbers is 100. 100 degrees Celsius, okay, is my first number. That's my greatest number. Then I'm going to go down to the next positive number, which is 32 degrees Celsius. Okay, then I'm going to go down to the smallest negative number, right? Because remember, it goes smaller and then bigger all the way down. So that's going to be my -12 degrees. And then finally, my -45 degrees. Because my biggest negative number is actually my smallest number in this series. Okay, so number 20, the temperature dropped from 15 degrees Celsius to -8 degrees Celsius. What was the change in the temperature? Just like we did up above, let me change colors so you don't get confused with the problem. Just like we did up above, we had 15, right? So we had to get from 0 to 15. And to get from 0 to 15 is 15 steps. Okay, now I got to get from 0 to -8, which is 8 steps. So if I was to draw a number line, I'll have to do it this way, and I wanted to get to number 8, okay, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, okay, to get to -8. And then I would do the same thing if I was going this way to go to 15. I would jump 1, 2, 3, all the way to 15. Okay, so I'm actually going to go 15 plus 8 equals 23. So my change in temperature is 23 degrees and change. Okay? Okay, so for your WSQ, please write your summary and complete practice book pages PW80, practice book page PW87 side only. Okay, so you're only doing what we were working on, just fill in the problems that we didn't get to finish. All right, I am expecting to have some questions tomorrow, especially with reading negative numbers. So we will see you in the morning.